How about solving some of the important, simple problems? No food or soda on the subways, especially at rush hours. Having designated cars for baby carriages, strollers, and bikes so they don't clog up the subways. And another good one that we had from a different questioner was that they travel extensively, and this is the only city they know where people are allowed to get off the buses in the front on the front door. What about sort of changing the culture for the subway and the bus system?
The notion of having people leave from the front of the bus, which means that while people are leaving from the front of the bus, the people who are trying to get on the bus can't get on the bus. If they were leaving from the back of the bus, each of the doors would be used for their right function at the same time. Now, I acknowledge the fact that there are people who get on the front of the bus who have trouble negotiating the length of a bus because of age or infirmity. And I don't believe we should have a law that says you can't leave from the front of the bus. But I think we can much more strongly encourage people to leave by the back of the bus. The other thing that we need to do, and in fact the MTA is moving in this direction, is towards low-floor buses. So we don't have to negotiate those high steps, both front and back. And the new purchases that they're making are low-floor buses. And finally, with respect to the articulated buses, they're looking at buses with 3 doors. So that enables you to have more coming and going faster. So much of the time for the pokey buses that he's been keeping track of for the last 20 years are not because the buses are stuck in traffic, but because they're stuck waiting while people get on and off. And those are things that we can remedy. We can also remedy it with smart cards, which are the next wave of Metro cards that don't require you to dip. It may seem like it doesn't take much time, but having a card in the vicinity that just detects the fact that you have the card there is still another way of speeding it up. There are lots of ways of speeding the buses up. The doors are one of them. The bus rapid transit is another one. We need the red cameras. We got to get rid of that guy from Rochester. We got to change the system. And if we get rid of him, I want to make you the head of the subcommittee on cameras on buses.
The questions about people's behavior on the subway, very tough. You know, it's part of living in a dense city with people of all sorts of different backgrounds and temperaments. So I can only think of a way to evade answering the question, because no one will be satisfied with my answering it. Many years ago, the Transit Authority tried to ban strollers in the subways. And they said that that it would be better if you folded up your stroller, took your kid's hand, or carried them, and attempted to get through the turnstile. And anyone who's been a parent or a guardian knows that, you know, trying to hold on to a kid even near a dangerous platform is really hard. So with the city council person, we held the stroll in. We had all these parents show up with strollers in the subways, and they backed down pretty soon. You know, I don't want to be flip. It's tough to get people to behave. We recently supported an increase in the ticket for fare evasion, which is one area where I think the transit authorities had real success. You know, 15, 20 years ago, you would see it, you know, routinely, and now it's a much rarer thing to see people. Nobody jumps the turnstiles. It's too hard. It's too much work. So you know, other than, you know, on the bus I was on, the bus driver and the M15 encouraged people to get off the back and out of the back, and I think that helped. And I think drivers in general do not make enough announcements. That's what their own statistics show.